Hello, apa khabar? Selamat datang and welcome to Virtually Peranakan Fest 2023, celebrating our colorful culture. Welcome to our festival. My name is Alvin Un, the organizer and host from Peranakan Sayang. This is our fourth year of this annual online festival to keep our culture alive and kicking, and it is for Peranakans, Babas and Nyonyas around the world. Do say hi in the comment section and do tell us where you are watching this live stream from. I hope you all have been well. Semua baik-baik, sehat. And for this session, I must also say Sawadee-kap. So thank you so much for joining us, Kamsia. And I'm very happy to join me as co-host for this particular session. I have my kawan from Malacca. He's my co-host. He is Baba Cedric Tan. Hello, Baba.
Hello, Balvin, once more, and good afternoon to everybody. Ada baik semua? Tapi makan
Baik-baik, eh? Today is Deepavali, yeah?
Just at my share, yeah. So now we are going to move on to the Nyonyas,
Today's topic is the modern Nyonya across the sister cities.
Yeah, definitely. And they're going to share with us their take. Yeah, these are all modern nyonyas. They are not those nyonyas who are housewife, the typical housewife, tunggu when preparing the rempas in the kitchen sort of thing. Yeah, but they are all working housewives, and so or even they are working in corporate world and also taking care of many things. Yeah, so we would like to listen to them. Their take.
Yes.
About
Shall we
living
introduce them one by one?
Yes, definitely. Alvin, you'd like to have the honor of introducing them, or you want me to introduce them?
Boleh lah, I can introduce also. I'll introduce the one that is closest to me in Singapore lah.
Let's have the honor of introducing these four beautiful nyonyas.
Beautiful nyonyas. You see.
All right.
Okay, first I'm going to invite Nyonya Angeline Kong. Let's bring her on stage. Hello. Nyonya. Apa khabar?
This one is our bidding expert, Nyonya Angeline.
Nyonya Angeline, that's right. Good to see you. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having us.
Okay, next, you should invite from where you are.
From Malacca, but apparently she's in Kuala Lumpur now visiting her daughter. My childhood friend, Nyonya Adeline Lee.
Hello, Nyonya Adeline Lee.
Hello. Happy Deepavali.
Happy Deepavali to you too. Sudah makan jongku.
A good one. How are you, Adeline?
Good. Very good.
Okay. You look good there. Yeah.
Thank you.
And next, we are going to invite. Go up further up, and she's also a very good cook tau. This one, jangan main-main. We got our friend from Penang, our Nyonya Penang. We will bring on Nyonya Supe. Hello, Nyonya Supe.
Hello. Hi, Baba Alvin.
Hello.
And hi, Baba Cedric.
Hello, Nyonya.
Good to see you. Good to see you.
Good to see everyone.
Nyonya Supe.
Okay.
Now the
northernmost, Yes. Who shall we bring on?
I got to know her during the recent Phuket Peranakan Festival. She has worked in Singapore before, and therefore she can speak very good English. Nyonya Grace.
Nyonya Grace. Hello, Nyonya Grace.
Hello, Sawadee-kap. Good afternoon. Hi, everyone.
Hello, Sawadee-kap. Happy Deepavali.
Everyone. Hi.
Yeah, so nice. Okay,
the two thorns amongst the four roses. Wow, pressure.
Okay, so for this session, it's a sharing where our ladies will share their opinions or their experiences being a modern nyonya in their respective cities. It may be similar, it may be different. So we are just doing a personal sharing. There's no wrong or right. Bukan, betul kah salah kah. So please be aware there. And if you have any comments that you'd like to share, please also type online on the comment section, and then we'll try to answer them as well. So Cedric, over to you.
All right. I would like to throw the first question to each and every one of you. Yeah. We address you as nyonyas, or basically you come from a nyonya background. And living in this modern world, do you busy with your corporate work or professional work, do you still consider yourself to be a practicing nyonya? Okay, I'll start perhaps from down south first, and let's move upwards. Yeah. So Nyonya Angeline.
You start from the bottom up
Uh,
lah.
Yeah, bottoms up, we call it.
I wouldn't say that I'm actually a full practicing Nyonya, but I would say at least 75%. Um, Basically, I don't really did what my mom and my grandmother would have done, but growing up in the Peranakan environment, I wasn't wearing kabaya for many years until when I was 29. So I think I took the bold step by wearing kabaya and also exploring further in terms of the kasut manik. So hoping to share it to the next generation or even people who are not interested. I mean, who are interested in terms of the culture and the heritage. So I think that part is my practicing part for being a Nonya.
Yeah,
Superb.
but you also do many other things to keep the culture alive. So you do practice your own things as well, right?
Yeah, but if I would say 100%, I'm not, but at least 75, 80%, I would say. Yeah.
Okay.
At least
The
that's
missing part is
better
actually
than,
my language. Yeah.
because I consider that, as long as you make an effort to practice, therefore you are still practicing Nyonya. I mean, it doesn't matter whether it's 10%, 5%, yeah. But you are making an effort.
Yeah, we're not calculative lah.
Thank you.
No.
Okay.
What about Adeline? What do you think? You consider
Oh,
yourself to
well,
be
yeah, to me, it's like I only know how to appreciate wearing kebaya at this age. I mean, formally, I don't really appreciate because I always have it in my mind that wearing kebaya make you look old. But now that I reach this age, I feel that I'm actually very proud to be a nyonya, and yeah, I would love to continue, and share my our custom and tradition to my friends around me. Yeah, but I cook, and in fact, lately I learned how to sew kasut manik. So yeah, I shall say I'm proud to be a nyonya.
wonderful.
Awesome.
In fact, I think you will improve in time, yeah, because and you would learn to appreciate more as you go along.
Oh yes, yes. I think I've got a long way to learn. I mean, I've lots of things to learn. Yeah, because being brought up, my dad is not very strict. He's very lenient. So yeah, that's where we actually became more how shall I say it, more modern. We don't really follow a
Hmm.
lot of the traditional ways, but we do respect when come to festival season like Sembayang or Chinese New Year. You have to soja, all that.
So you do practice that, but I mean, it's just that you don't say out loud that you are practicing that. I mean, you still do practice,
Yeah.
but in your way.
Yes. I think we should. That's a respect, for the elderly. Yes.
All right. We have heard about money. We have heard about kebayas. What about Nyonya Supe? You're definitely an ambassador for Nyonya cuisine. I'm very sure you have lots to say about Nyonya food.
Yes, I run my own private dining at my home, and every week I do have dinner sessions. And during the session, I share about the cultures, I share about the food, the symbolisms, how to cook, what are the ingredients inside, and why we cook this dish, and when do we serve this dish. Certain dishes are for daily consumption, certain are for ancestor prayers, certain are for guests, and when do we cook this certain food. So I practice this almost every week, and my children are together with me to run the private dining, and at the same time they learn as well. So I'm very happy that my children are with me. And
Wait, how old are your children?
my children, one is 25, the other one is 21, and the son is 19.
You look too young to be a mother of 25 and 21.
Makan banyak ulam sikit ah.
Good tip.
That will help. There's a lot of antioxidant in the ulam. So, Actually, yeah, talking about ulams, during my private dining, I try to serve them ulams, especially for the guests that coming from overseas. They love our bunga kantans. They love our ulam raja, and that's very high antioxidant, and we try to preserve that. Yeah.
Very
Wonderful.
good.
I'm glad
Yeah.
that you actually learned to you actually shared backgrounds about your ingredients that you use and also the dishes that you serve for various occasions. I think that's a pretty good. You can write a book on that actually. Yeah. All right. Let's go a little bit higher up to Thailand.
Yes.
Our Nyonya Grace.
Oh,
Yes.
hi, hi. สวัสดีค่ะ. Right.
Hello.
So, yeah. Well, practicing yoga. Yes, I would say that I still do practice. Actually, my maternal grandmother, she's Nyonya from Penang, and if I were to trace back on my father's side, my paternal, his great grandparents, they are actually Peranakan as well, and they are based in Satun province. So Satun province is actually a province located on the west coast of Thailand, along the Andaman, Andaman zone in that region. So yeah, so what we do is we still do observe the rituals, ancestral worship, and every Chinese New Year and apart from Chinese New Year, of course, there's Qingming, and apart from that, we still do preserve, we still practice making goys and all that during the New Year's and other important days for the prayers, making prayers to the deities and all that. So I would say I still continue, to whatever that is being brought down from my grandmother and my mom. She often teaches me what to do and what to follow, and how it is important. It is like a legacy that you have to keep up to it. Yeah.
Very good.
Do you realize that when you try to follow your elders, especially during trying to practice all these customs and rituals, it can be very tedious. Yeah. As a modern nyonya, in your case, would you try to improvise any of these practices in the future? Or right now, are you already making shortcuts or shortening the process of, for example, preparation of food or laying a table or lessening the amount of food on the table? What's your
Okay. Previously, when I was young, when I was like at the age of like around 8 to 10, I see that our prayer tables is like quite large, with a lot of food being served and all that. So now it's been lessened down, but of course there are things that has to be there, and we still keep it there. But other than that, like in terms of the quantity, yes, we do lessen it down. The process itself, we do shorten it a little bit. No, the thing is that because we have our family is big, yeah, and everyone are like traveling elsewhere already. Some are in the overseas, so we did try to shorten the process down a little to accommodate and adapt to the current changes. But no matter, even though we shorten it, everybody still still thinks of our ancestors, and still respect.
So that respect, so that due respect is still accorded to your your ancestors, but making note about that in the sense that you don't really then cut really short or change your elders, your seniors,
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, no, we don't. Yeah. And
yeah, and I hope that you share this with your younger generation as well.
Oh, yes. Our nieces and nephews right now, they are, trying to keep up with the practices that we do at home. Yeah, and everyone is happy about this because before whatever changes that we do, there needs to be a consensus among our family members that okay, so this year we are gonna have like this. It's just consensus among everyone, and yeah, if they agree and everybody agrees, then and that's great, and we proceed with it.
Wonderful. Now, I would like to bring this part of the question also to Nyonya Supe. Yeah, in trying to to maintain the practices you have, do you apply shortcuts, or we call it skillful means in presenting your meal at the same time too, without shortchanging your customers? What would you do to hasten the process of preparation and everything? Do you do that in the first place?
Okay, I like to experiment with food with new technologies as well. For example, for instance, during the MCO, we did the retort pouch for Nyonya food, and then how I taught them how to cook in the big batches, and then pack in a small packs for 1 or 2 persons meal, and then freeze it. And then we can also use sous vide to minimize the mistakes. So I hope this kind of method, this kind of new method with the new technologies, we able to scale the food, and also teach in culinary school. That is for my future visions. And for my own family traditions, like ceremonies and ancestors prayer, we scale down a little bit, because we always cook a lot of food, and it's going to be a lot of wastage. Sometimes you give those prayers, after prayers food, especially ancestors prayers food, to somebody. There are people that pantang and not to eat it. So we scale down a little bit for my own families, so just not to waste food.
It's modern
In your,
practicalities.
yes, I agree with that. I mean, in my home too, we tend to scale down, or else at the end of the day, you look at the same food and you eat that for 3 meals. It's like, not again. No, sort of thing. Do you look into how you can shorten process of preparation of your rempas, for example, instead of
All right.
pounding blender, or you don't really bother about. I mean, you're not so concerned about texture. Or that would be something that you would also look into, for example, using modern technology.
Yeah, last time when I learned from my grandmother-in-law, I pound the rempa, I giling the rempa. So with the modern technology, we have a Thermomix, we have a good blender, we have coffee maker to grind our rempa. That helps a lot. Today I'm going to teach the people, the students, how to grind the rempa using the traditional way, I think nobody wants to learn. Even the tumis rempa alone, you can tumis it for half an hour, or you can make jihu cha. You can tumis stir fry the jihu cha for 2 hours, and nobody wants to stand there and stir fry the jihu cha for 2 hours. It's really painstaking. People will say wasting of time. Rather you cook for me lah. That's the answer. So with the controlling of using the technology, it helps. You can actually work it out to get the texture that you want. But sadly, with the technology, with the blender that you have, normally you have to blend in big scales and not in a small scale. So normally how I teach a student is you blend in a big scale, then you tumis it, then you portion it out and freeze it. So in the future, how do you use it? You take that one portion and then you cook it with the dishes that you want. With the new technology, it helps a lot.
I'd like to bring the third question to Nyonya Adeline. Yeah, in what aspect of the culture would you want to challenge, or perhaps change, in order to make our culture more adaptable to the modern days, years, fashion, whatever it is? What are
About being
areas
ethical, right?
probably not, yeah, or as a forward-looking Nyonya, put it that way.
Well, I think especially like kebaya, we can actually change a little bit of, instead of wearing it with sarong, we can wear it with jeans, and instead of having a normal sleeve, we can have a broad sleeve. I think it would be nice, and more people will be able to accept it, rather than, because kebaya, I feel, is like showing off your shape. So there can be like those, slightly a line cut kind of kebaya for those who's big in sizes. Yeah, and I mean, of course, we will still keep our traditional wear, but we can introduce it to everybody, for everybody to wear as a different design with the sulam, and things like that. Even the sarong, because in fact, if you actually see the olden days, the sarong is just to ikat, right? But now they have like sarong kipas, they have every kind of design, So and you can also ikat it as a pario. So it's I think it will be very interesting for the young ones to actually carry on wearing kebaya, but not only on festival or any special occasion, but you can still put it on, any time of the day.
What about Nyonya Angeline? Yeah, let's look into your beading issue. Yeah, uh, is there any techniques that you want your students to learn in a way also to shorten the process of beading, and especially like designs on the kasut manik? What would you probably advocate to them that for them to show their personality in the products that they produce?
I okay. I think for many years, there was uh, everyone was thinking that it was a dying art for the purpose. I mean, for the materials that is not available. So what I did is actually created a workshop of 4 hours, so that actually to improve interest. I think that 4 hours has actually been beneficiary to many young generations, and there is an increase of members, um, or young nonias, especially young nonias, are coming in to wanting to know how to make a pair of shoes. And what I have done is also to share with them where they can actually source their beads. And I believe that beads was the main concern of the discontinuity of the uh, kasut manik and our culture that is considered as a dying art. Mm. So hopefully, the source of beads is available now online. So I think people can go online to do a search and purchase. That will help in terms of the continuity of beading.
Would you face or do you face any criticism or backlash for wanting your I mean students, if they want to try something different, like beyond the conventional kasut manik look, I believe I've seen a few very non-conventional manik looks. I mean, what has been the response like from the public?
I I have received many positive feedbacks actually for those that are new creation. I think you may have actually seen in Nonia needlework, one of the design that is actually a seahorse, and one is actually a dog. One side, the other one is a different type of dog, actually being done by students on the first project. So these are all their designs, and it's not the conventional uh, Peranakan beaded shoe. But there are students who actually wanted to do the traditional way, like the designs that from their grandmother or even from the mother. I have students who actually on their third generation did the same pair as what the mothers and grandmother and grandmother and mothers did the same pair. So three generations had the same kasut money.
Oh, interesting. I've seen kasut manik like half half money, half leather sort of thing, which is also like well something that is not typical. But I think
Um,
if without all those changes, probably will be. I mean, it's just like be the same old look to the kasut money. I don't know. What do you
right.
think about that?
I think we have to go into a modern stage, and but also teaching the those who are interested in terms of the the culture, the history of the beats, history of the style, and I think whether they're going to be creative in whatever style come out to be, it is their own creation. So and it's their masterpiece. So I think that is a matter of respect of their masterpiece. So I'm open to creativities, but I would like to retain the tradition part of the kasut manik to some extent by doing the traditional way designs and teach them the basic first before they expand to somewhere different or their own creation.
I think your most important takeaway from your sharing here is that you must know your past, yeah, understand the past, learn,
Right.
and having understood the past, then you equip this knowledge in yourself, and then that's where you apply all these techniques and the knowledge that you have to do something which is very more refreshing. So having mentioning this takeaway, I probably want to ask Nyonya Supe, because when we talk about food, especially when you want to experiment, you definitely get a lot of comments, and yeah, food especially, yeah. When we talk about fusion food, things can go confusion, yeah. So what's your take about that on Nyonya food?
Okay, there are always two sides. One is a traditional one, the other one is a modern ones. Okay, the traditional ones sometimes they don't agree with the methods that I create, but without let them knowing how you prepare the food, you serve them, and then after they taste it, approve it, then you tell them this is your method. That's one of the way to let
Reverse
them
way.
try. Yeah, the reverse way is like, can you accept? Is this good? Is it good enough for you? Is this original for you? Is it traditional food to you? Or yes, then I say, okay, this is a method I have changed. So that's a ways that they will be amazed. It's like, wow, you can do something like this, something innovation, but you still maintain the original dish. Well, for the modern ones, of course, it's easy. When you go to culinary, everything is modern. So I embrace the innovation. Okay, I like to look at every 2 years we have a Penang culinary competition, Penang Battle of the Chef. Okay, they have innovates into something fusions, something nicer, and it's always accepted by all the culinary students. So I would say that when you innovate or modernize certain things, okay, you still have to keep the root. You still have to keep the traditional taste. You back to the basic first before you go into innovations.
So again, to understand again your roots, yeah, that's I think the same takeaway as Nyonya Angeline. You need to understand the past. Having understood and comprehending the past, then you can then apply this knowledge into what you do. Now, coming to two areas where we tend to be very conservative, Malacca and also in Phuket area in Thailand. Yeah. First of all, I'd like to ask this question to Nyonya Adeline. Yeah. Do you face issues, especially from your peers or from your elders, when you try to be seen more accommodating to changes in the way you practice your culture?
Yes and no, because sometimes they will tell you, you cannot go against this and that, but slowly, I mean, it takes time to educate them. Yeah, and I feel even the elder ones, they need to change. But of course, to me, respect comes in both ways, So as long as we respect them, we explain to them, and I believe they can accept it. Yeah.
Let's go to Thailand. Yeah. I know that Thailand too, in Phuket and also the coastal areas of the west coast of the isthmus of Kra. Yeah. You tend to be a bit more conservative, yeah, in the way you do your stuff, yeah. But people like you, having traveled worldwide and living in big cities, and trying, of course, to suit changes into your life, what would your elders say? Do they encourage you to change, or they say, no, no, you still need to follow this, or else if everything is watered down, then what else is left behind?
All right. Okay. So I think very similarly, like Adeline mentioned earlier, is to find consensus in between to compromise each other. of course, there are certain things that you need to have new adaptations of technology, such as having social media to connect and make everyone understand about our culture and all that, right? So the elders they may not understand on this, but then eventually, after you try your best to explain to them, let them have an awareness and let them be involved. So involvement is the key, and once they are involved and they know that, oh, this is actually one of the good way to connect with people, to carry out things, to spread our to spread the Peranakan cultures outright, then they would eventually accept that. Yeah. So it does take time, but I'm sure that you really have to slowly immerse in, and yes, time is taken. Yeah, but then slowly it'll be there. I mean, you'll reach the
Yeah.
goal.
We
Now,
need to educate them slowly.
yes, Adeline. Yeah, sometimes change you cannot change too quickly, too suddenly. It'd be too shocking for them, right?
Yes, yes, of course.
Gradual changes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, must take place gradually. But of course, I think with a bit of nudging as well as sort of telling them, what you plan to do, that probably would help them as well to be able to cope with changes as well. Change is always constant. Yeah, that's the
Mm-hmm.
only rule in life. Change
Yep.
is constant. If we don't adapt quickly to changes, we'll be left behind.
Exactly.
Um, Okay. I'd like to throw this last question to every one of you. Yeah. Now you have seen, as I mentioned, changes that have taken place in your society, in the things that you love to do, in whatever that you see in the culture. Yeah. As a modern nyonya, what would you want to share or maybe to transmit to your next generation? Uh, to make them aware, to make them relate to the culture, so that they too can carry the flame of their Peranakan culture to the fore. Okay, let me start off with the most progressive country down south, Angeline.
Maybe I can share a little on my mama side, because my mama would remind me that I'm actually a Peranakan. And when my niece and nephew was born, I started to do the same. I did the same by telling my niece and nephew that they are also Peranakan. And so when it comes to the younger generation, I always would like to tell them that they have a roots to remember, and that future is also very important because they're going to uphold that roots. Um, so and even though we don't really practice the usual Peranakan way household, like cooking or even speaking at home in Baba Patois, but no matter how, the culture, the heritage is still there, and they are part of their heritage and culture. So my niece and nephews would actually be able to see that they are connected to somewhere along the roots of Peranakan. So hopefully that this also will come to more families to share about their so-called history and stories about their families. I think in the Peranakan household also that we are very afraid to share about our stories. So sometimes I always tell my Peranakan friends, I say, remember to ask your mama or your grandpa if they are around. Please ask them about stories, and that's what I did with my grandmother. So that's my sharing for the younger generation, to ask stories about their past.
Thank you very much, Angeline. That's a beautiful take. Yeah. Let's go to Nyonya Adeline instead. Yeah. From Malacca. I know that you come from a pretty uh, conservative family, I must say. Yeah. Initially. Yeah. I know that now that, but your dad has given you so much leeway in wanting, in allowing you to be yourself. Yeah. So let's say
Yeah.
I'll throw you the same question. Yeah. What would you want to share with your next generation? Yeah, with the hope that they will carry the flame of the Peranakan culture in their own way.
Well, I think Peranakan cuisine is actually very important because I think The younger generation, because they are so busy with work and things like that. And Peranakan cuisine are actually quite difficult to prepare. But I still think that there are many people who love our cooking, our spices and all that. So yeah, I would also teach them how to cook the Peranakan way, and also the culture, to respect the elderly, and especially like Chinese New Year, we don't forget to soja, and when come to prayers, we need to respect regardless of any religion, whether you're a Christian some days, but we still have to do our customary of prayers to our loved ones.
You brought up the issue about respect. Would you consider respect to be the core practice of our Peranakan culture, irrespective what religion or what beliefs that you have?
Yes, of course. To me, respect is very, very important. Yeah. And I think we Peranakan, we have very good mannerism in that way. We respect the elderly. Not like some other families. They just call by names. Things like that. And we also address our uncles, our aunties accordingly. To our paternal or maternal side. Yeah.
Yeah. So Celia has the same feelings. I think one of the things that's important is to teach youngsters to call their family members by rank title. That's what holds the family bond together. This
Yeah.
feels more traditional culture that makes one feel a part of the Peranakan family.
Correct.
Yeah. Yeah.
Correct. You don't just call auntie or so, and especially now, like sometimes sisters, they just call by the name, unlike before, it's like, Tachi, or Cheche. Yeah, I think we should keep that, because I think respect is very important.
Mm.
Wonderful. Let's move northwards to Penang. Nyonya Supe, I'm very sure you have lots to share about what you want to transmit to your next generation. I've seen you, knowing that now you have your children to help you, but what else would you want to see in them in order for them to be the ambassador for Peranakan in the next few years?
All right, I'm the first generation in my family that documents all the recipes in soft copies. So they already they're going to have all the recipes, all the grandmother's recipes. So food culture is always the easiest method to teach them about cultures. And of course, with my private dining, with my explanation about the culture and the food, they listen to it. I feel that they will like absorb it slowly. As years go by, they'll remember all these things. I have books for them, and my two girls went through kasut manet beadings, and my two girls also went through embroidery. Nyonya kebayas embroidery. They've been that, they've done that. They have not made their own kebayas, but they have complete their own shoes once. So these are the triple traits that are passing out, especially to my girls. And of course, the daily life, the ceremonies, the ancestors' prayer, get them involved and set up the altar tables, cook all the food that's prepared for prayers, or like when doing batzang, they have to help to stir fry or clean up the water chestnuts, get ready the salted egg yolks, all the little things they can help out. So actually a good memory. So when you give them memories, sometimes when they get older and one day I might not be here anymore, when one day they eat the batzang, they'll remember that, okay, the batzang, the process is like this. Okay, last time how we crack the eggs, we get the egg yolk, we season our own salted duck eggs. Okay, those are the memories they can have. And from there, I hope that they can search for their root, continue searching for their roots, continue to love the culture, And sayang, right, if the culture is not continued, but it's matter of time and choice and their interest to continue on being a nyonya and practicing the nyonya way.
Nice.
I understand that your children, the products of Peranakan from Malacca as well as Penang. How would you want to do you make them understand that this is Malacca style, this is Penang style, or this is you would teach them as this is the Peranakan style?
The difference between the Peranakan in Penang and Malacca on the dishes, on the motifs of the kabayas, and how they tie the buns. There are differences. I'll share with them as long as I know, as much as I know. But overall, these are Peranakans. No matter you're Chichi Peranakan, Jawi Peranakan, the northern, the southern, in Australia, wherever it is, but always respect them. Everybody, they have their own methods, their own way of practicing, and we might not have the same religions, but we respect each other and we learn from each other. That's where the unity coming from.
Wonderful,
Well
wonderful
said.
message.
Mm.
Right. I'm not going to leave out our sister from Thailand. Yeah, I'm sure also you have your own take about how you want to transmit this to your next generation in Thailand.
All right. So even though we are Peranakans and we're based in Thailand, right? Of course, we must not forget our roots. So it's always a very good thing to to share to the younger generation, to my nieces and nephews, who we are and who our past ancestors are. But other than that, it's I think it's a good practice to get them be involved in the things that we do in every day, like how like what Supe mentioned earlier was something that I was brought up with, like setting up the outer table, setting up the table, even just the dinner table. It does goes a long way, yeah. And there is also something that my Nyonya grandmother has always mentioned for to all of her grandchildren, and I think this is something that is to be passed on, is to have say, like she always say that in Hokkien language. So respecting the elders and having prim and proper manners, it goes a long way. Very good practice for the younger generation. Yeah.
Now that you mentioned that, we also have a question. Do Thai
Yes.
Babas and Yaya, I'm not sure what that means, still use Penang Hokkien in your family conversation?
In my family, we do. We still don't Hokkien wa.
Yeah,
Yes.
so I had a chance to speak to your mom as well. And she spoke Hokkien.
Yes, and of course, several other families located on the western coast of Thailand, they do speak Penang Hokkien. Yeah, but there may be a slight change. Yeah, because of the different influences on where they're located.
Okay.
Wonderful. So I guess at the end of the day, what we are all looking at is that in order for us to bring the Baba Nyonya culture to the next generation and forward, I think there's a lot of respect required in order for us to understand what is the intrinsic basic culture, of the Baba Nyonya. And I think it all lies in the tenets of respect. A lot of fear, piety is also involved. And when you learn to respect each other, then you can learn more from each other. You'll begin to listen to each other, and then you can grow from there. Yeah, and also learning to accept them as they are by respecting their views and also respecting their take on certain matters. So and that, I think, is the most important virtue or probably a tenet that we are still practicing within the community. And I think with that, we will still continue to survive. We will continue to be resilient, strong, and move on to perhaps the next millennium as well. So I'd like to say thank you very, very much to all four panelists and for your time, for your sharing, to Nyonya Grace from Thailand, Nyonya Supe from Penang, to Nyonya Adeline from Malacca, my kawan baik, and also to Nyonya Angeline, all the way down to Singapore. Thank you very much for sharing with us your take as a modern nyonya in this world, and how you want to help us to maintain and also to propagate the nyonya culture to the future. Okay,
All
back
right.
over to Alvin.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Thank you very much, everybody, for that wonderful session. Thanks, Bar Cedric, for hosting this session. Now, that's the end of this particular program. Certainly hope you enjoyed it. Do follow our Facebook page and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Our next and final program is going to start pretty soon at 5 p.m. Singapore time, GMT +8. It's Mari Hwahi Dipavali. It's going to be a whole program of fun and lots of singing and fun. It's going to be a lot of laughs. So please click on the next program link to join us. This has been Virtually Peranakan Fest 2023. My name is Alvin Un. I will see you soon and thank you, everybody. Bye bye.
Bye bye. Thank you very much,
Bye.
everyone.
Thank you.